So let's look at step 5 of the partner feed wizard. Step 5 is all about adding tracking appends. Now, for most of our customers, they need to add tracking appends to all their marketing activity so that it's tracked at a product level and gives the most granular insight within their chosen single source of truth view. This most often is platforms such as Google Analytics, either free or 360 paid versions, Adobe, previously known as Omniture, or IBM Core Metrics. We have templates for all of these platforms, making the job a lot quicker for you. In addition, you can add custom tracking appends. So if you've got an internal system or your agency has some tracking appends they need to add on, that can be done as well. In addition, you get the option to choose whether to add the IR tracking appends. If you add the IR tracking appends, then the activity that has these on will also appear within the IR platform with those key metrics. However, if you've taken the data connector product, it's probably less important. You can use any of the attributes within your master data set to dynamically populate these very granular appends at a product level. For instance, you may want to show that the clickers come from Google, its address, and the SKU is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's important to preview the links to make sure you're happy with their format. Obviously, you're going to be using these to make some quite important decisions. And you can come back at any time and edit these tracking settings. If you don't wish to add any tracking appends at all, then literally just skip this section. So let's get into the detail. And in this example, we're going to add Google Analytics appends. So in this situation, maybe we're going to we'll have the append for the IR tracking. Can't do any harm for the Intelligent Reach platform to know what's going on as well. And then I'm going to add Google Analytics UK. This is now loading a template for the Google Analytics tracking appends. As you can see, you've got the different link settings, and in an AdWords world, you've got, or Google Ads should I say these days, you've got the link, the AdWords redirect, and a mobile link. Now, by default, if you just carry whatever you put in these settings, they'll be added to all those individual other links as well. But you can obviously individually go into those and change it. So you've got a slightly different link for mobile, so you can track mobile separately, etc. So you can add any of the values. So I think in the example we were talking about, we were going to add the partner. So the partner name is Google. In here, I want to know the category. So it's now going to tell me the dresses. And here, I'm going to search for SKU. Or ID would be a better term. Let's have a look. Master unique ID. Okay. If I need to, I can encode any of these individual elements, or I can encode the entire URL. I could carry out a find and replace. And you'll notice on this right-hand side here, that currently it's set to serve that tracking append for all of the products in my feed. But if I wanted to, I could actually start building up segments, product segments, like elsewhere in the so as we can see here now, exclusions, labels, etc., and have slightly different appends for different groups of products. I then click on the feed preview, and in the background, it's going to start building up some of my product URLs and show them to me so I can make sure that I'm happy with them. The first thing is you need to have it enabled, otherwise it's not going to do it. Okay, so you can now see at the end of my URLs, as well as having the post append from Intelligent Reach, the company ID elements there, IST company item, I've also got my Google Analytics tracking, and you can see that it's dynamically populating it with clothing, accessories, women's skirts, general. So it's got the entire category. So I might want to change that here now and say, actually, I only want the subcategory. Yeah. I can update the feed preview. And now I've just got women's skirts general. So much shorter, a bit easier to use in my tracking, but I can actually see the campaign being the individual SKU in here. So I'm happy with that. But if I wanted to, I could then add another tracking append. So I could add some custom tracking. And then that will add another set of tracking to the top here. And I could just put in any kind of free text, question mark, track, item dot whatever. But obviously you get the understanding. And if I wanted to, obviously I could build it up. I could put IBM Core Metrics, Adobe. We could have all of them working together. And as long as you actually carried out the final encoding and the entire URL, then you wouldn't have any problems with that resolving. But definitely good to click on some of these links, make sure they track, maybe go and see if they're appearing in your analytics system as well. And once you're happy, click Save Tracking.